it right away. Do you see? And I have a girl actually that calls me sometimes when she's going into food, and she even says, I can feel it in myself that I will binge tonight on popcorn or whatever she binges on, and I'm going to feel bad about it, and I don't know. So I call her up while she's in the mode, do you see, to try to work on the brain while it's misfiring. Do you see, causing her to have the need to binge and purge. So you see, that's the nice thing about what I do is I'm just a phone call away. Yeah. And anytime you are in the addiction, if you call right away, I can read why the brain went in and what I have to shift in that. But everybody I work on says, you make everything so much easier. It's like my body just says, well, why would I want that? It's because you move all the past lives, you know, all the other stuff. Yeah. So you have to work. Let's just say I'm working, you would be working, you know, it would really take a united effort to really break that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a whole area too that we'd like to cover today, and that is regarding to subliminal messages. What do you feel in relation to subliminal messages? Have you encountered this in your work?
Yeah.
Have you worked with people on suggestions that may have come through subliminally?
Actually, sometimes that's a lot bigger than people realize. Children, I've worked on children, and they can go into eating disorders. They can be unruly. They can be whatever. And so what I do is I'll work on them through the mother if they're not old enough. And I get their health up to a certain point. But once again, if you're still feeling, say, a frequency. If I really work on someone and they're getting so that they're up here, and all of a sudden my hand goes, you know you got to find something else. So if you've covered food and you've covered this and you've covered that, then you start saying, okay, what's in your house? And I can go through a house room by room. So I'll say, how many rooms you got in your house? So they'll say like 4. So I say, okay, put the first thing in your head, divide it into 2 or 3, whatever you want. Go through, is it 1, 2, 3? It's in that part of your house. What's there? I got a bookcase. I got this. I got that. You say, and that's how I found CDs, children's CDs, movies. It can be movies, it can be learning tapes, it can be anything. And children have the sense to listen to things over and over and over and over again. So you put a subliminal message in there. And I said a while ago in another segment that one of the ways they want to take down the country, and it's the Illuminati and countries that want to take it down. We've got food, we've got water, we've got air, we've got radiation, we've got terrorism, we've got this, that, and the other thing. The other way, and supplements. So the other way they go for it to get the children to, it's mind programming, is to begin to put subliminal messages under either their movies or under their CDs. You know how they're always listening to music CDs and stuff like that. And very, very, very hard to trace them because it's very high technology. And a lot of times the movie maker, or they absolutely don't know they're under there. They send it out to get whatever they do in this process, and they can put it under. Very hard to find. But you have a young child whose brain is not really even finished developing until they're 20. But the primary development would be maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, when they're learning shapes and colors. I tell you, it goes right into their subconscious. There's one movie that I heard of recently that actually has suicidal subliminal messages. And, you know, there are an awful lot of teenagers now that are committing suicide or killing others. And a lot of it is from the rap music they listen to, but some of it is absolutely beautiful music. It's just great, and that's where somebody sticks it right in there. So I read that. So I went through all their CDs, and I picked out the ones that were good for her, the ones that were really bad. I told them to toss them out. And there's a couple that weren't too bad. So I just have to read them. But it's a very big thing because I understand sometimes even educational videos that they have at schools, the school has no clue that there's subliminal messages under there.
How do you rate them? What scale do you use?
Let's say 0 to 100, like I did with your health, remember? So I just say count 0 to 100. If it's anything over 0, and you like it, you might as well look at it. Because 0 is, if it goes below 0, that's when it's going into the negative. If it goes 100, it shows not only is there no subliminal messages, but it's a great learning movie. Do you need me? Or great something for you. Yeah.
Well, I have some titles here that we've put together, and we'd like you to take a moment, if you will, and tell us what your rating is on the amount of subliminal messages.
Okay.
And what is 0? Is 0 high? I mean,
no, 0 would be nothing. Okay. 100 would be not only is there no subliminals, but you've got good content. Okay. And then below 0, you've got something bad.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Avatar.
Avatar. I understand everybody really likes this movie, so. Count 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
87%. Good. So that's no subliminals. But let's see, because I get that intuition to ask. Count 0, 1, 2, 3. If there's anything else we can know about it that might help some people and not others, or a variable, okay?
0, 1, 2, 3.
Two things. Number one, even though, this is my opinion, even though people believe it's very good, and it is, there is some things in there I'm getting that when parents go to this kind of movie with their children, it's kind of like an adult caricature thing. But long story short, there are some children that have had a little bit of suicidal tendencies afterwards. So just a little warning on the box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second
Certain
one.
places in the movie, I could tell you, I could tell anybody if they wanted to ask me. And you know, if anybody gets a hold of my number, or whatever, just remember I always answer my calls. And I don't have a computer, so you can't email me. Okay, what's the next one?
Finding Nemo.
I didn't like that movie. I don't know if there's subliminals under, but I saw it with my grandchild, and God, first segment, the mother dies or something. I think this is a terrible movie. So count 0, 20, 40 on subliminals.
0, 20.
Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking the other. Count 0, 20, 40.
0, 20.
Zero
40.
subliminals, but I'm getting there's something else in there. Count 0, 1, 2, 3.
0, 1, 2, 3.
I'm getting, let's go to content. Content for young children, which does also change neurotransmitters. Count 0, 20, 40.
0, 20, 40.
Minus 500 million on content. Is it about is it because I watched a long time ago because the mother dies? Is it because the little fish is always running from the big fishes? Does it have to do with fear of death and fear of everything? Say, does it?
Does it?
That's it. They've done tests on children after Finding Nemo. They can't sleep at night. They can't do a lot of stuff. Is there anything else that we need to look for? See, when I get this, I know, okay, we haven't caught something. Okay, what? Count 0, 1, 2, 3.
0, 1, 2, 3.
There's one I'm getting very little known technology that I don't think is in too many other movies because too many people are catching it. But it has to do with a sound at a certain place in the movie. And if a brain, even an adult brain, if it actually hits the ear or whatever in a split where it's coinciding, the sound with a part in your brain when you see something, it can actually cause... Is it night terrors? Say, is it?
Is it?
Yes. And that's also technology. The content would even, but the technology, but it only, I would say on 20 out of 100 people, it would coincide in the brain at a split moment that they might have a lot of trouble with nightmares. Yeah. Okay, what's
Well, we have a long list here, but I'm thinking we should shorten it to maybe 5.
Yeah, well, we can just go through them fast.
And I want to ask you now about The Little Mermaid.
Count 0, 20, 40, 60, 80.
0, 20, 40, 60, 80.
About 87%. That's not bad. Okay.
And I would personally like to ask you about The Dancing Princesses, which my daughter watched about 250 times, and she now has with her in New York at Christmas. She took it with her back to New York, and she's 26 right now. So,
Ooh, here's where I say, don't ask the question if you don't want the answer, right? Okay. Count 0, 20, 40.
0, 20, 40.
100. Excellent.
She has good taste. I'm so glad.
And I always like Shrek. And I
Okay,
get
you
Shrek is
choose.
100. Except Shrek 1 is 100. Shrek 2 I'm getting is like a 0. Not bad, not good, kind of. But after that, they started getting massive subliminals in them.
Well, here's a very creative movie that some people would view as very dark, but is terrifically artistic. Edward Scissorhands.
Okay. And don't forget, it could be really good for some people and not good. I'm getting to break it up into content and subliminals, okay? So, content, count 0, 20, 40.
0, 20, 40.
0 for anyone under between 10, 11, 12, 13. It depends on their own advancement in their brain. Not good on content. Other than that, it's great. Okay. What's on subliminals? We have to cover.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, count 0, 20, 40.
0, 20,
okay,
40.
here we go. Oh, you're the one that's supposed to count.
0, 20, 40.
60. There's no subliminals, but once again, there's something else new with technology. So, not to go into it, long story short, would most people be able to go past it, say, would they?
Would they?
Yes. Did the movie affect them all in that technology? Say, did they? Did it? No.
Did it?
But was that a setup for some movies afterwards? Say, was it?
Was it?
Yes. And only 2% of the population did it work in mind programming. So long story short, they experiment, before they really, to see what percentage it's working on. It's like an experiment. I always say, well,